Welcome back to episode 2, Closed with Justin Jacobs. Thank you guys for watching this. Making these podcasts is really kind of interesting. I've never done this before, and it's a learning process. So really appreciate everybody's patience with me figuring out tech, and also got some new mics. So hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better, and the audio quality will be better moving forward. So this episode is going to be all about how to crush the first week in AEP. So I've got some ideas, 5 big tips that you can use in order to maximize your efficiency and also to make the best of your AEP moving forward. So the very first thing that you need to be doing as an agent is organizing and prioritizing your clientele. First, do you have a system for your client information? For example, do you have a CRM system? Do you have a filing cabinet? Do you have a book, a notebook, something? Do you have any type of organization on where you keep your client information? Most CRMs are super cheap to set up. You don't need much to really get that going. All you need is maybe a credit card, $20 a month. There's plenty of CRM systems out there. At Health Plan Markets, we've got a CRM system that you can use. It's free, and it really does the deal. It's got a lot of automation in it. And automation is key really on making sure that you're staying on top of your clients. But one of the big things that you can do as an agent in your first week is making sure that you're absolutely organized. Do you have a system on where you keep your client data? If you don't, go ahead and get started on that. Even if it's a simple spreadsheet, even if it's a Word document, it really doesn't matter as long as you have all your clients all in one place. Again, if you have an FMO, most likely you probably have a CRM that's available to you through that FMO. So check in with them. One of the things that you really want to focus on is making sure that you prioritize your clients. Who are the people that you absolutely have to see this week? Who are the people that are on fire to change their plan? Who are the people that absolutely have to change? One of the things that I always go back to is how efficiently are you using Pre-AEP from October 1st to October 14th? I've heard agents say, well, I don't really start until the 15th. I think that there's a problem with that. I think essentially there could be a way better use of that time. So for example, if you know that there's certain people that absolutely have to change, I would go ahead and see those people immediately. Sometimes people are turning 65. They'll be eligible to change 11/1, maybe even 12/1. You have people that are on Medicare and Medicaid. Why should they wait until January? Let's get them on a plan now. You might have to explain this year's benefits and then next year's benefits as you continue to go through the plan itself and get them enrolled early. But that's one less person that you have to see throughout AEP. You can go ahead and get them enrolled now. Clients that are ready to change, those are the people that you need to see first. That's your first week of AEP. One thing that I did as an agent is all the people that were interested in making a change, I would go ahead and talk to them from October 1st to October 14th. That way I can do my scope of appointment. I can meet with them. I can go through their drugs, their doctors. I can do the research. I can find the plan. I can even go through the benefits with them. I can even fill out an application. You don't want to date it. You don't want to sign it. You have to leave it with them, and you cannot collect it. But you can do almost everything except sign that application and then date it and turn it in. If you're using an EAP system, like what we've got at Health Plan Markets, HPM Shop, then you can't leave the application with them, but you can go ahead and send the quote over to them, and then they can hold on to it. But you can get them loaded in the system and launch it as soon as you're ready to get them enrolled on the 15th. So we've seen top producers turn in 20, 30 apps on the first day. How do they do it? Well, they effectively used their pre-AEP and really got to business right away. So all of their clients knew exactly what plan that they were going to be on, and they got them changed and ready on the 15th. So all those were kind of like low-hanging fruit, easy clients to get enrolled and pushed back. And it makes a big difference on opening up daylight for the rest of your AEP. Here's another one. Don't forget the basics. We get so busy sometimes that we often forget about the basics. Did we listen to the customer? Did we really understand what their needs are and what it is they're actually looking for? Make sure that you're taking lots of notes with your clients so you can reference them back This is where call recording actually can become handy, because then you have something to reference back to. The other thing is, make sure that you're listening for opportunities. I'm going to talk about how to plant a seed here in a minute, but what opportunities are there for referrals? Did they mention their brother? Did they mention their neighbor, their ex-husband? Who else in their network is available for you to talk to? When you go and ask for referrals, one of the things that I learned is you don't want to just say, hey, by the way, do you know anyone else that I can help? All of a sudden, they don't know anybody. So what you say is, hey, Mrs. Jones, do you remember when we had that conversation about your brother probably needing a plan? What was his name? Jerry? When would be a good time for me to connect with Jerry? That's how you ask for referrals. Because as soon as you start asking for referrals, suddenly they forget everybody's name. You don't want that to happen to you. The other thing with the basics is, as you're meeting with your clients, don't skip over the rapport. Spend 5 to 15 minutes really jiving on the relationship. This is where the magic happens, and you don't want to let go of that. This is why they do business with you and you alone. It's the relationship. Do you share what's going on in your life? Sometimes people don't want to share what's going on in their life simply because they don't feel comfortable enough to open up. You might be the first person to come in and say, hey, look, let me share something with you, or thank you for sharing that story. Actually, I have something similar that I'd like to share with you. Opening up about your life can really help your clients open up about theirs, and that's where true connection lives. That's where relationships are built, and that's where you can excel as an agent. So again, don't forget about those basics. There's lots of selling techniques that we can go through, but during AEP, I highly recommend don't lose your craft simply because you're in a hurry. It's one of the worst ways that you could start losing clients. Here's another great tip during AEP that you really want to focus on. Are you planting the seed for additional products? Studies show that retention, it increases by 5 to 15% with your clients when you add 2 or more products to that client's portfolio. So for example, let's say that you sell a Medicare Advantage plan and dental seems to be a really big issue with your client. Go ahead and tack on that dental plan. Or maybe you're really thinking about adding cancer critical illness plans. I was at a seminar one time and the sales agent stood up and said, how many of you have cancer or know somebody that had cancer? And literally everybody's hand has gone up at that point. It was really easy to go ahead and pitch the benefits of having a cancer or critical illness plan added to your customer's portfolio. You want to do this because it's going to add stickiness, and it's really going to make your client feel that you're truly listening to them and having the best coverage available for them in case anything should happen. During the conversation, when your clients are concerned about hospital copays, or different parts of the plan, make sure that you're paying special attention to those, because you can go ahead and plant the seed for ancillary products. So for example, maybe they call you and they say, hey, my hospital copay is really high this year. Yeah, I see that. I saw that you were interested in getting a give back plan that gives you part of your money back in your Social Security check. Well, there's actually a product that we can tack on, and I'll explain on how we can get rid of that hospital copay. What I just did is I planted the seed and I shared with them at a later time, we're going to talk about a product that solves that problem and that concern with them without going any deeper. So after you've gone through the benefits, you get them enrolled, you can go ahead and say, hey, do you remember when we were talking about that hospital copay? Well, I have a hospital indemnity plan that will get rid of that hospital copay. That way you can continue to get your money back in your Social Security check without it impacting your entire plan. Another reason why this technique works really well is if you've been in this business for a while and you feel like you've been chasing your tail, you're having to go out and see the same clients year after year because the benefits changed, the dental got dropped, the hospital copays went up, the give back plan wasn't as rich as it was the year before. You can eliminate or reduce a lot of those issues by tacking on these additional ancillary products. That way your folks are more secure and they're immune to those issues where the plans are adjusting benefits. This happens because volatility in the market, the federal government is changing the benefits. The federal government is changing how the plans get paid, which requires them to change their benefits. And this is a real problem. So by you adding these additional products, makes it a lot easier for your clients to stay with you and they feel protected. And that's the name of the game. Now, again, as I explained, you can really go ahead and see your clients, explain the benefits, and what I like to call pre-sell the health plans. Now, remember, CMS allows you to do an enrollment only after October 15th, but you can do everything else except take that application from October 1st to October 14th. So you can go ahead and pre-sell that plan, get them enrolled essentially in their mind that they're ready to change on October 15th. So then on the 15th, all you have to do is throw on your pajamas, sit down at your desk, pick up the phone, and start calling your clients and closing those deals that you already talked to. For example, hey, Mr. Jones, do you remember that Humana plan that we talked about? Well, it's that time. Let's go ahead and fill out the application. I went ahead and send over the enrollment link. Can you confirm you got it? Fantastic. If you can sign it, fantastic. You're good to go for January 1st effective. You're going to get an email. And by the way, is there anyone else that you think that I can help while I got you on the phone? This is a great way, again, to push referrals, ask for referrals in a nice way. Every interaction that you have with your clients should be an opportunity for you to ask for referrals. So please don't forget that. Whether it's at the pre-sale, at the sale itself, or any customer service issues that pop up, you want to ask for those referrals. It makes a huge difference in what you do. So I mentioned earlier about working in your underwear, and I know this is kind of a funny concept, but the reality is all of us want to work in our underwear. You want to work from home. You want to be in the comfort of your home, maybe working in your pajamas. Hey, that's cool, right? We live in a world where you can make that happen. But everyone's got to do the work. You have to have leads, you have to have customers, you have to have clients. And I'm really seeing agents that might have a book of like 200, 300 clients. That's really where they start to see that magic happen, where they don't have to hustle as hard. They're usually just at about 6 figures, maybe a little bit more. And they don't have to hustle as hard. They don't have to go out and get events. They don't have to work doctor's offices as much. As long as they're taking care of the clients will take care of the agent. That's honestly what I've seen. If you excel at customer service, I really don't think that you need to hustle as hard when you get to the 200, 300, 400 client mark. Now, if you decide that you're going to use AEP to work in your underwear from October 1st to December 7th, I think it's a great choice. There's really no reason to spend your time driving around and seeing folks. It's called windshield time, and it's a waste of time. I don't think it's the best use of your time. You should either be prospecting, you should be talking to your clients, you should be going through leads that you lost from last year. You should really be tackling and calling everyone that you know and using that time efficiently instead of driving around. Every moment that you drive around and you are in front of a car on the highway, you are eating up your ability to see more people, and that's just not what you want to do. So remember that. I think it's very important that you spend your time wisely and efficiently without burning daylight. Now, after AEP, go ahead. Go on out there in January, February, March, and sit down, have a cafecito, talk about the weather, the dog, the kids, all that. Spend 2 hours if you want to, really building that relationship. But remember, you only have about 6 weeks to close as much business as possible for January 1st. Some folks can work 8 weeks. If you got those last 2 weeks in for special election periods, you don't want to waste that daylight. You really want to hone down and make sure that you're spending your time wisely. So I am a fan of working in your underwear during AEP if you can do it. If you don't have enough leads, if you don't have enough prospects, then of course it's going to be really hard for you to get that done. You still have to go out and do some prospecting. There's no shame in that game, but make sure that you take care of the clients that you have first before you go forward and go out and find some new ones. Well, that's it. That's what I've got for this week. I hope that this podcast has been really helpful on how you can go out there and crush your first week of AEP. Again, if you can take a moment, subscribe, whether you're listening on Spotify or you're watching this on YouTube. We really appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. And until then, I'm Justin Jacobs. Take care.